Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Celebrating Marvel Studios. I'm your host, Chad Miller. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the very first episode of Marvel's What If, which is directly on Disney Plus. And I'm really trying hard to be positive about how I feel about the concept. And some of the concepts that I even have with Loki, even though I loved Loki. And to basically bring it down to a small boiling point, I think time travel and multiverses are easy cop-outs for writing out actors. Especially in such a huge franchise such as the MCU. So I'm not looking forward to those aspects. And I did have a little bit of trouble with that with Loki. I just felt that there were so many ways to cop out of certain events that happened in the MCU, and then introducing variants, and it just... I'm a purist by heart, I really am. And I mean, if a character dies, a character dies. It's just, I mean, you know, in a situation where, you know, in Captain America, the First Avenger, you know, Steve sacrifices himself, somehow ends up in ice, and, you know, is basically brought back to life so many years later. Okay, that's his storyline, you know. So to talk about the first episode of What If, I'm going to say that it was a very, very, very interesting concept, and it made me actually sit there and go, okay, you know, okay, this is possibly a multiverse story, you know, and, you know, it could have happened this way, but due to a time variant, it didn't, if that is what the angle is. Having Hayley Atwell back in the MCU was really good, and, you know, a lot of it too was, I think, only 2.5 people, as far as major characters, were different, and that helped. That helped a lot. Due to it being animation, acting style is a bit different, so it was kind of hard to hear, say for instance, Sebastian Stan just rattle off some lines, like it was like without a serious, like, honest acting tone. The story overall, I thought was rushed. I felt that it relied too much on people's knowledge of Captain America, the First Avenger. I felt that when it wasn't, it strayed too far. And the commentary, I think, for the period in which the series was set, was adequate. On the negative levels to make that impact, but I don't, okay, well, yeah, she did justify, I just felt it fell flat. The animation was spectacular, like, I couldn't believe it, like, Marvel animation, if you go past the 90s, was basically non-existent. So to see this kind of work go on for a Marvel project, it was stunning. It was remarkable. There were a few times where I was just kind of like, you're a little too choppy there, but other than that, did I enjoy the episode? Yes. Yes, very much so. I do have problems with some of the stories, some of the content, some of the changes, just because it was for the sake of making a change, because it is a multiverse. Because I don't feel that it was fleshed out enough to just make it make sense and have it be cohesive. It didn't necessarily have to be like, you know, oh, well, just because in timeline 1, point A and B happened, that in timeline 2, A and B has to happen as well. No, I don't expect that. There could be hints, sure, why not? But yeah, overall, the animation was the strongest and best thing about this episode. I don't know if continuous episodes are going to follow in the same suit or in the same storyline, or if we're going to switch into a different multiverse or what. I just have a problem with these kinds of things, because either you're going to play too close to the source material, or you're going to fall too far away and lose your audience. And this episode had me divided. Completely divided. But I'm not saying it's bad at all. At all. I just think if this is a setup to... I don't know where else they're going to take it. If it's going to be multiverses, if it's going to be time travel. It's just... It's hard to say. There were lots of great references to previous MCU movies, which is great, but it doesn't hold just because it's in a different universe or a different timeline. Yeah, I get a little bit upset about that. But anyways, great animation. It's so good to see that so many actors from the franchise actually come in and do the voices. And for some of those who were not original voices, did a pretty well job. In all actuality, it was kind of funny. I learned that the actor who did the voice of Red Skull in this show also did the voice of Red Skull in Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, and I was just like, that wasn't Hugo Weaving. Kudos, and major kudos. Yeah. So, that being said, I will continue to watch What If. My only hope is that, oh gosh, I know there's so much that is coming up with a multitude of madness, and I just I hate being a purist. I do. So anyways, that's my little bit of a spoiler talk about the first episode of What If. Next Wednesday, it could be an episode that I go, oh, okay, this makes a little bit more sense. If it doesn't, I don't know. This is such a hard concept for me to grasp. I'm the person that says everything that happens in my life happens for a reason, and has brought me to the point where I am here today. So when and that's difficult too, because if no. Okay, anyways, done with the conversation so far. Leave some comments below, because I would love to hear how something like this can be explained and honored in regard to even the most pure standpoint that is even possible. So please do that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and most of all, comment below. I would love to have a conversation about this. Thank you so much. Love and light to you all.